praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekakwadash. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, and double honors to the elders, a great millstone. I'd like to say shalom to everyone listening and learning, and to the women listening and learning in silence. I say shalom. This lesson is entitled Bounds He Cannot Pass. Okay? Bounds He Cannot Pass. Job 14:5. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds, that he cannot pass. And what I'm referring to is kingdoms, nations, okay? The Lord sets up kingdoms, all right, and takes down kingdoms, okay? And this kingdom is no different, the kingdom of the Roman Empire, in which has been extended, okay, by Esau, Edom, the Greco-Romans, okay? All right. How do we know that? Because the Lord said that they will be the final ruling kingdom of the world. All right. When we go to 2nd Esdras 11 and verses 39, we read, okay, because the Lord set up 4 kingdoms in the earth, all right, 4 major empires in the earth, all right. There were many kingdoms that have been erected, but the one that the Lord is tracking is the ones that mainly had the children of Israel in captivity, okay? All right. And that would be the Babylonians, the Persians and the Medes, the Greeks and the Romans, with the Greeks and the Romans being the kingdoms of the Edomites, okay? All right. 2nd Esdras 11 and 39. Art not thou it that remainest of the 4 beasts, okay, that reign in my world, that the end of their times might come through them? The Babylonians, the Persians, the Greeks, and the Romans, that's who the scripture is referring to, okay? All right. Verse 40, and the 4th came and overcame all the beasts that were passed. That was the Roman Empire. That's the 4th beast, the Roman Empire, and had power over the world with great fearfulness, and over the whole compass of the earth with much wicked oppression. And you should be able to see that by now, the wickedness, the oppression, okay, that the so-called white man has brought to the earth. And so long time dwelt he upon the earth with deceit, okay? So the Lord has appointed him bounds that he cannot pass, okay? Esau, Edom, the so-called white man's rulership shall not continue on into a new world order dystopian police state with him and AI ruling as God. Psalms 49 and 11. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. So the Lord allowed them to conquer with the gift of the sword given to them by Isaac. And they did just that. They conquered the known world. Okay? But in the end, they will not finish their new world order. The Lord is going to crush them. We get to the point, Job 20 and verse 19. And it reads, because he has oppressed and has forsaken the poor, because he has violently taken away an house which he buildeth not, surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly, he shall not save of that which he desired. There shall none of his meat be left. Therefore shall no man look for his goods in the fullness of his sufficiency. Okay, when he's establishing himself to the top, all right, his new world order and such, in the fullness of his sufficiency he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. When he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. He shall flee from the iron weapon. So we know that this is the nuclear destruction. All right, World War III. And the bow of steel shall strike him through. It is drawn and cometh out of the body. We know that they have silos underneath the ground. It's going to come out of the body. Yea, the glittering sword cometh out of his gall. Terrors are upon him. Okay, so this is what's going to happen to America, Babylon the Great. All darkness shall be hid in his secret places. A fire not blown shall consume him. It shall go ill with him that is left in his tabernacle. The heaven shall reveal his iniquity, and the earth shall rise up against him. Because the prophets are on the scene, prophesying on the highways and byways, revealing his iniquity. Okay, all right. Verse 28, the increase of his house shall depart, and his goods shall flow away in the day of his wrath. This is the portion of a wicked man from the Most High, and the heritage appointed unto him by the Most High. So they're not going to be able to fulfill their new world order, okay, a technocratic society, you know, based upon AI. Okay. He's going to establish and try to get close to this, but in the processes of doing it, the Lord is saying that he will destroy him. Okay. He will not defy the Lord's will of establishing the kingdom of heaven. All right. As we speak, the nations are gathering together, fleeing away from his reserve currency. And this symbolizes the end of their dominion, their rulership. Okay. Proverbs 21 and verses 1. Highlight that. The king's heart is in the hand of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. So what this means is no one has free will. The Lord sets up the kingdoms and he establishes it. And when he's ready for you to go down, you're going to go down. Okay. And that's what's happening with America, Babylon the Great, before our very eyes. Okay. All right. All right. Let's go to Daniel. All right. And as we just read, this is the last and final major empire to rule the earth. So the Chinese, the Russians are not going to rule the planet. All right. Daniel 4, verses 17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the basis of men. Let me read that again. This matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the basis of men. So the Lord set up the so-called Edomites to rule for a long, long time. Okay, as the Greeks and as the Romans. Okay, from Alexander the Great, they were able to conquer the known world. Okay, Asia, Middle East, the Americas as we know it. Okay, and they put in captivity the children of Israel, all right? You Negroes, Native Americans, and those of Hispanic descent, okay? All right? Okay, so uh, they've been conquering this for a long, long time, and the Lord has given them the dominion of the earth. When we go to Genesis, it was prophesied that this would happen. Okay, um, we know that dominion was given to the two boys, Jacob and Esau, in which Esau was the firstborn. All right, but the Lord passed over on him for dominion of the earth forever. Okay, completely. All right, let's go to Second Esdras 6 and 7, as written. Okay, because Jacob, even though he was the second born, uh, Esau was passed over. Esau Edom. Okay, even though Jacob was the second born. Okay, he was not the firstborn child, son, because that's how it worked in the ancient world. They gave the firstborn son. The father gave everything to the firstborn. Okay. Second Esdras 6 and 7. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of times, or when shall be the end of the first, and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Okay? All right, and Yahushua, the Savior, is from the tribe of Judah. He was from the royal house of Judah, in which is the top tribe. Okay? All right? The tribe that produced the prophets. Okay? All right, so the Lord has appointed him bounds he cannot pass. All right? And Jacob had supplanted him for the birthright. All right? And it was the will of Yahweh. When you read the story, he deceived Isaac, his father, but it was the Most High that will for this to take place. When we go to Second Esdras 3 and 16, it tells you that. All right. And unto him, let me highlight that. And unto him thou gavest Isaac, and unto Isaac also thou gavest Jacob and Esau. Okay. All right. As for Jacob, thou didst choose him to thee, and this is the point, and put by Esau. And so Jacob became a great multitude. So the blessing of the firstborn rights went to Jacob, okay? Because it was the will of the Heavenly Father, all right? All right? And mainly because Esau is representative, his seed line is of the wicked, okay? He's of the wicked seed line. All right. I guess we can get that. We always read this, Job 9 and 24. And it reads, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So the earth is given into their hands, the Edomites. They ruled the planet Earth, okay? From America, which is Babylon the Great, NATO. All right, they have the two greatest armies on the earth. Okay. All right. So let's read Daniel chapter 5 and verses 1. All right. Belshazzar, the king, made a great feast to 1,000 of his lords, and drank wine before the 1,000. Belshazzar's, whilst he tasted the wine, commanded to bring the golden and silver vessels which his father Nebuchadnezzar had taken out of the temple which was in Jerusalem, that the king and his princes, his wives, and his concubines might drink therein. Okay, so the scenario is they're in Babylon. Okay, the tribe of Judah is in captivity in Babylon. Okay, under Belshazzar. Okay, the son of Nebuchadnezzar. All right, in Babylon. Verse 3. Then they brought the golden vessels that were taken out of the temple of the house of the Most High, which was at Jerusalem, and the king and his princes, his wives, and his concubines drank in them. They drank wine and praised the gods of gold and of silver, of brass, of iron, of wood, and stone. In the same hour, this is the same hour that they were drinking, right, out of the utensil golden vessels of the Most High. This is what happened. Verse 5. And in the same hour came forth fingers of the man's hand, and wrote over against the candlestick upon the plaster of the wall of the king's palace. And the king saw the part of the hand that wrote. Then the king's countenance was changed, and his thoughts troubled him, so that the joints of his loins were loosed, and his knees smote one against another. The king cried aloud to bring in the astrologers, the Chaldeans, and the soothsayers. And the king spake and said to the wise men of Babylon, Whosoever shall read this writing and show me the interpretation thereof shall be clothed with scarlet, and have a chain of gold about his neck, and shall be the third ruler in the kingdom. Then came in all the king's wise men, but they could not read the writing, nor make known to the king the interpretation thereof. Then was King Belshazzar greatly troubled, and his countenance was changed in him, and his lords were astonied. Now the queen, by reason of the words of the king and his lords, came into the banquet house, and the queen spake and said, O king, live forever. Let not thy thoughts trouble thee, nor let thy countenance be changed. There is a man in thy kingdom in whom is the spirit of the holy gods, and in the days of thy father light and understanding and wisdom, like the wisdom of the gods, was found in him, whom the king Nebuchadnezzar thy father, the king, I say, thy father, made master of the magicians, astrologers, Chaldeans, and soothsayers. For as much as an excellent spirit and knowledge and understanding, interpreting of dreams, and showing of hard sentences, and dissolving of doubts, were found in the same Daniel, whom the king named Belteshazzar. Now let Daniel be called, and he will show the interpretation. Then was Daniel brought in before the king, and the king spake and said unto Daniel, Art thou that Daniel, which art of the children of captivity of Judah, whom the king my father brought out of Jewry? I have even heard of thee, that the spirit of the gods is in thee, and that light and understanding and excellent wisdom is found in thee. And now the wise men, the astrologers, have been brought in before me, that they should read this writing and make known unto me the interpretation thereof. But they could not show the interpretation of the thing. And I have heard of thee, that thou canst make interpretations and dissolve doubts. Now if thou canst read the writing and make known to me the interpretation thereof, thou shalt be clothed with scarlet, and have a chain of gold about thy neck, and shalt be the third ruler in the kingdom. Then Daniel answered and said before the king, Let thy gifts be to thyself, and give thy rewards to another. Yet I will read the writing unto the king, and make known to him the interpretation. O thou king, the Most High God gave Nebuchadnezzar thy father a kingdom, and majesty, and glory, and honor. And for the majesty that he gave him, all people, nations, languages trembled and feared before him. Whom he slew, and whom he kept alive, and whom he set up, and whom he put down. But when his heart was lifted up, and his mind hardened in pride, he was disposed from his kingly throne, and they took his glory from him. And he was driven from the sons of men, and his heart was made like the beast, and his dwelling was with the wild asses. They fed him with grass like oxen, and his body was wet with the dew of heaven, till he knew that the Most High power ruled in the kingdom of men, and that he appointed over it whomsoever he will. And thou his son, O Belshazzar, hast not humbled thine heart, though thou knewest all this, but hast lifted up thyself against the Lord of heaven, and they have brought the vessels of his house before thee, and thou and thy lords, thy wives and concubines, have drunk wine in them. And thou hast praised the gods of silver and gold, of brass, iron, wood, and stone, which see not, nor hear, nor know. And the Most High, in whose hand thy breath is, and whose are all thy ways, hast thou not glorified. Then was the part of the hand sent from him, and this writing was written. And this is the writing that was written. Many tekel up harson. This is the interpretation of the thing many. The Most High has numbered thy kingdom and finished it. Tickle, thou art weighed in the balances and art found wanting. Verse 28. Pierce, thy kingdom is divided and given to the Medes and Persians. Verse 29. Then commanded Belshazzar, and they clothed Daniel with scarlet and put a chain of gold about his neck, and made a proclamation concerning him, that he should be the third ruler of the kingdom. In verse 30, this is what's really interesting, how the Most High moved quickly to end this kingdom. Okay, because this is where we are. This is what I wanted you to kind of get an understanding of. Verse 30. In that night was Belshazzar, the king of the Chaldeans, slain, and Darius the Mede took the kingdom, being about 62 years old. Okay, all right. So he was Belshazzar wanted to know the interpretation of the dream, and Daniel broke it down, and that very night he was put to death, and his kingdom was taken away from him. All right. So this kingdom, America, Babylon the Great, has bounds it cannot pass. Okay, once the Most High finishes this thing, it's over with. All right, let me read. Let me see that verse again. Yeah, verse 26. This is the interpretation of the thing many. The Most High has numbered thy kingdom and finished it. Okay, so there are bounds that America, Babylon the Great, all right, the golden city cannot pass. All right, it cannot pass. All right, there are bounds in which this kingdom, this America, Babylon the Great, cannot pass. Okay. Psalm 75:4. I said unto the fools, deal not foolishly, and to the wicked, lift not up the horn. Lift not up your horn on high, speak not with a stiff neck. For promotion cometh neither from the east, nor from the west, nor from the south. But the Most High is the judge. He putteth down one, and setteth up another. For in the hand of the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahshai, there is a cup, and the wine is red. It is full of mixture, and he poureth out of the same. But the dregs thereof, all the wicked of the earth shall wring them out and drink them. But I will declare forever, I will sing praises to the Most High of Jacob. All the horns of the wicked also will I cut off, but the horns of the righteous shall be exalted. Daniel 2 and verses 44. And in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rekakwadash. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, and double honors to the elders at Great Millstone. Shalom.